understand.
Welcome. I don't hear anything. Do you hear anything? Oh, there we go. It's on the thing.
How's that?
No, that's good.
Okay, we're good.
It was this.
Don't touch anything.
You can hear, right?
Yeah, I can hear. We're good.
All right, welcome to Sequel Podcast.
Season 14.
This is going to be another one of those worst episode ever.
No. I don't know.
I'm running low on energy today, or in my life, I guess.
I feel that. How's things?
Things are too level.
Status quo.
Yeah, too status quo.
Need to shake it up.
Yeah, I need to the bottom to fall out so that you can't get any further. You can only go up.
Exactly.
Or just go up.
Up would be good.
Up would be good.
I like up.
I mean, should we give it a little bit for people to see this before we do some house cleaning?
Yeah, let's give it a minute.
A little bit of house cleaning.
A little bit.
How was work today, Cory?
Work lately has been, I don't want to say terrifying.
Overwhelming?
Overwhelming would be a good descriptor. You could get the thesaurus out and work that over a little bit.
Well, overwhelming?
Yes, because there's just so much going on. Our building's under construction. We're expanding our company. We're having overseas people helping.
From overseas?
From overseas. We have expanded our support team to 24/7, and we have I don't know what you want to call it. We have a support team in Manila.
The PI, as they say.
The PI.
The PI.
PI.
So you could potentially go over there, right?
It's a different team. So, it belongs to a different group.
You can't
so
be
it's under a different supervisor.
Send me out there
if
for a week or two.
If I really wanted to, if I could come up with an idea to pitch to my superiors and be like, hey, you guys should send me over there. We'll do this thing. I'll work with your team to get them up to speed on one thing or the other, so that we could be more effective or whatever. If I could pitch that, which I could probably come up with something that says that.
Sure.
I could come up with something, because it's either they fly them over here or we fly them over there, or we fly us over there. I think. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it'll work out or not. Oh Jesus!
Sorry, dude.
Turn your ringer off. So rude. But it's interesting. I don't know if you've ever worked with anybody not from this country or not living in this country, but I try not to look at it in a negative light, because they're people that are doing a job. Our company hired them to do the thing, and it's not their fault that English isn't their first language.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. That's fine. But it is aggravating sometimes.
Is it? Well, look, I've certainly worked with people where English is not their first language.
Sure. Lots of us have. all of us. Just, okay, me and you.
No, I'm sure there are plenty of people who do. But also, my first language is not what their first language is.
Right.
Or neither is my second language, because I don't have one.
Okay.
So.
I feel like we get used to it with Spanish, like in the U.S.
I mean, there's
more used to
some. I can totally get. Some people who can speak English fluently,
mm-hmm.
and they speak Spanish. I can kind of get it through context clues,
sure.
through what little I know. But then when you get some people who don't speak English very well, then that you can't really understand what they say. It comes out sounding like gibberish.
Right. And that's not generally the case with these guys. I'm not sure, how much.
You're talking about Filipino?
Yeah.
They're speaking Tagalog. Well, just tell them, Putangina mo. That's all you need.
And so, like I said, it's not.
Well, sock.
That's right. I've had enough of your shit. It's easy in the moment when you're dealing with somebody to be like, motherfucker, just spit it the fuck out, right? And a lot of
Like
us,
in
we're
English,
not even,
or
spit it the fuck out in English or something. Let me translate it. I don't care.
over in
Like-
the Philippines, they should have a concept, like a good grasp on English
They do.
and Spanish.
It's not bad, and it's not what I'm getting at. It's just like it's like talking to a fifth grader, maybe. Where it's not that they don't speak English,
yeah, no,
it's that
I've gotten that too.
their grasp of other words and their context is low because their vocabulary is small.
Right.
Which is, like I said, I'm not trying to be negative about it. It just is what it is.
Right, it's just frustrating.
And it's frustrating on my end because obviously, supporting a medical facility is kind of a high stress environment, especially for us because we're sitting there. If shit's broken, the fucking CFO is standing in my office going, "Why is it broken?" Not, is there anything I can do for you?
Sure.
It's like, fix it yesterday. So, and that's, and I don't dog for that
that's
either.
What
That's
I hate,
how it goes.
No, that's what I hate about fucking, like, supervisors.
Oh, yeah. They don't want to know what the fucking thing is. They just want to know why you haven't fixed it yet.
But they're probably getting dogged by their
Absolutely.
supervisors.
And really, like, in our setup, even the CEO, CFO, COO, the whole C-suite, like, they're not really the bosses.
Well, look,
The shareholders and the doctors who really comprise this company, they're the bosses, and they want to know why shit's broken.
Right,
Why
and,
does this
it's
always happen?
It's when you've got people on the ground level that are doing the grunt work. When you go, there's a language barrier from them to supervisors because they're looking at least for me, they're looking at figures and numbers and patterns. And then they want to convert all that into whatever.
They want to convert their metrics into dollars.
Yeah, and then so when they tell us, like, hey, make this better, and well, it's like, it only works one way.
Yeah. And we can either have more people do it, or we can do it faster, but really we're already doing it as fast as we can. So what do you want? There's only so many options for improving a process.
God. It's so fucking ridiculous.
So, and then the other thing is, like, there's a time difference, which is almost as aggravating as
to the Philippines?
barrier.
It's like a day and a half.
Right.
It's like...
So they're 12 hours
like
plus.
right now, it's like 4 a.m. for them.
Right. So our, daytime, whatever, their day shift is our swing and graveyard shift. For us.
At a funky angle.
Right? So during their daytime, they're covering our nighttime. And then we have bleed over so that they have guys working graveyard over there too, who are working during our daytime. But it's two different crews that are supporting everything. And, my company's giving them projects and stuff that they have to interface with our vendors.
Is there
and
no
our
translators?
customers.
There's no middlemen here?
Like I said, it's just kind of been thrown together ad hoc. And I'm sure on paper, and if somebody who knows, like the economy in the Philippines, I'm not super versed in it. I know that it's depressed. I know that it's not great. But obviously they have enough first world jobs where there's got to be something going on.
Well, see, the thing is they just make up jobs so people have something to do.
Right. And I feel like that's what they've done because I have 4 guys that are tier 1 techs that are, quote unquote, this one piece of software professionals that we use. And it's like, okay, what do you really know about it? Because I keep asking you questions about it and you don't know dick, or you don't understand my question.
They have too many people, not enough jobs, so they just get people and be like, here you go.
My company's offshored this set of jobs, and we went from having I think we had 3 guys when I started. It was like, oh, this is the Philippines team. And they were kind of like their own little thing. And they would handle our overnight patching schedule. So they would remote into systems and they would push the updates to all the machines. And they had it on a schedule and they would run around and do it. And then it was like, oh, the Philippines just hired 4 more guys.
So are these...
We haven't hired anybody.
What are these people doing in the Philippines?
They're doing support, man. They're doing tier 1 support.
Support, like computer support? Or like customer support?
Tech support.
Which is what exactly?
Anything from I can't log in to my,
Who are they talking to?
Customers. The original setup
You work in a doctor's office.
Okay, so it's not just... So I work for a contract company that works for many different companies.
Right.
So we contract out, and we have, I want to say, like 20 or 30 different clinics all over the country. Different owners, different everything.
Yeah.
So part of my company supports a variety of customers. Me and the guy I work with, we support one customer. And it's a contractual thing. Like, we're obligated and physically on site with them. A lot of the customers that we have in my company we don't have guys on site. We'll go there if we need to.
Okay, so your customers
So
then would
support.
be the business, the businesses.
The other offices, yeah, the other
So those would
doctors'
be the
offices.
customers.
Those are the customers.
So like the doctors and the
Doctors,
secretary,
MAs, front desk personnel. Shit
they're
like
the
that.
ones that are like, my
They're-
computer's not working,
right, so
they
they-
have to call through you guys.
Right, so they either call in the phone number. It goes to a call center basically, where they have somebody answer the phone, say what's up,
And
and then
you
or
got
they can put in an email.
Filipinos that are like trying to help them that don't
Yeah.
necessarily know.
I'm
what
not
they're
saying they don't speak English. I'm just saying.
Well, do they know what they're
to
doing though? Are they?
That's all
I
questionable.
mean, you
they
went
say,
to school.
They say the people in charge say that these people know what they're doing, and I'm not going to dog that because they do get shit done and they do know things that I don't know. So I'm not saying they don't know shit, but it's more of a communication barrier where we haven't really discussed the grand picture of this one client that they're trying to help us do.
Yeah.
And they don't know everything about it, and they just do it the way they do everything else, and it doesn't work that way. You know, they've never come in and they're like, oh, it works like this, so it's set up like that, and because most of the shit we have set up is fucking wrong. Like, it's not, industry best practice, if you will. I forgot where I was going. But regardless of the fact, we have
It's rough.
a project going right now, and like the day before they need it, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to cut over this new system tomorrow starting at this time. Here's the schedule. They love schedules, but they cut and paste everything, so they don't change the date, or they're using their date. I don't know if they're behind or ahead of us or whatever. So
No, they're ahead.
one thing says the
It's the
17th.
future.
One thing says the 17th, but it's not till the 26th. So they're using like this boilerplate, email where they're just inputting stuff, but they don't change the fucking title. So it's confusing unless you really read it. And most of the stuff they post out doesn't affect me. Like, most of it's not for me, so I don't care
Right.
most of the time.
Right.
But sometimes it does. So then they call me up this morning and they're like, hey, we need somebody on site tomorrow during the cutover. I said, okay, cool. What are the hours of the cutover? What's the plan? What are you guys doing? What do you need me for?
2 a.m.
Do I
to
need to
6 a.m.
physically be there? Or do I need to be available to go down there if you have a problem? And at first it was like, oh yeah, we just
Yes.
need you available. we need you to be able to assist on site if necessary. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And then they're like, hold on, and I was like, I need to clarify because they're not being verbose, right? Because they're not using a lot of language. They're saying the bare minimum of things they need to try to get their point across.
Right.
And I said, okay, what time do you need on-site support? From 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Tomorrow.
And I said, okay. I said, what is your team going to be doing during this time? And then he just regurgitates the bullshit that the company says, yeah, we're doing the cutover and this and that, and we need you to be on site in case we need to restart something and it physically doesn't come back up. Because there's nothing you can do remotely at that point. It won't come back. You have to go literally like flip the switch. So I go, and do you need me to be physically in the building from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. while this is happening, or can I be available off-site to come back and work on it if I have to?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go check. I said, I need you to ask your supervisor what the plan is and what you require.
Can't you just talk to a supervisor?
I could, but I refused. I feel like I don't want to stir shit, so I'm not going to go to my supervisor and be like, oh, hey, this guy's fucking this thing, and...
Well, it doesn't have to be a matter of
doesn't.
like sounding like
It doesn't, and I feel like I couldn't do it without sounding like that. So that's why I didn't. I said, and I want them to tell me. I was like, what do you need? I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
I'm the on-site technician. That is my job. And if you need me there between 4 and 10, I'll be there. But I need you to tell me that you need me to physically stay there the entire time until you're done. And he said, we're hoping to get it knocked out and we can go home early. That's what he said.
Sounds familiar.
That means I'm going to be there till midnight. To me, that's what that means. And if I'm there till fucking midnight, I'm not even coming to work on Friday. So, but it's just aggravating because it's like last minute, Charlie. You could have told me last week. We could have made this plan this week and do it next week. But we're in a big fat hurry because somebody got their panties twisted up about it. And it has to happen right now. And it feels like the plan is just fucking thrown together. And here you go. This is what you get. So I'm like mentally and emotionally drained on this whole thing because there's a lot of stuff that's changing and they're trying to go in 60 different directions at one time. And then there's this big thing that happens and we have to hurry up and get it done. And then while that's happening, there's another big thing that happens and you got to hurry up and get that done. And then you got this other big thing and then something fucking breaks. And then you got to hurry up and fix this while you got these things going.
If you look at it, this is how I mean, maybe I shouldn't say this. I'll leave some words out. Like, you got to look at it this way. Like, I mean, if it's not done in the allotted time, what exactly is going to happen besides
There's no backlash. There's no backlash.
Exactly.
Except it's not done.
Exactly.
And there might be somebody who goes, oh, this is supposed to be done already.
Right.
That happens.
Like, well, we are in the progress of getting there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how I tend to look at certain things. So, like, I don't know. And we're going through a lot of fucking overtime at work. It's back to school. On top of that, like, we're understaffed, and we've been understaffed for a long time.
Are you guys still hiring people? Or are they keeping it
I
understaffed?
thought we were. I mean, that might have been a smoke screen. Because at one point it looked like they were hiring people, and they were talking about, like, oh, we've got 1 million gajillion people, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, I haven't seen any new people in a while. And those numbers that they said that were new is like a fraction of that number.
Right.
So we've got a lot of work, and I think it's just like they probably are keeping it understaffed, and so now
it saves money.
It saves money, and now we're all on overtime.
Right.
So, like, how much money exactly are they saving?
You'd have to do the math.
Right, and it maybe it's a matter of cents for all I know.
Could be.
But it's frustrating because you don't get a break. Like, if you had other people to help, you know, you might not feel overworked.
Yeah.
But even then, like, sometimes they hire, like, not...
Go on.
No, I'm not going to say it.
Well, I mean, I'll say it. Sometimes companies
inefficient
will hire people who are underqualified or fucking just outright mouth breathers. And it's like, that's probably what the company's looking at. They're going, all right, we did some house cleaning. We got a group of people in here that can do the job, and they do it relatively well. And if we could just, you know, I mean, to a level, I mean, probably to a degree, and if we just keep these people busy as fuck, we don't have to go through the cost of onboarding more users, more people, because that's expensive. Onboarding and training and getting, you know, that takes 2 people down. It slows down production whenever you do that. So why don't we just keep the crew we got? If we're making numbers now, if we're getting it done now.
It's that whole thing. Like, if you don't get done,
yeah,
you're just going to keep doing it
until it is done.
Until it is done. It's not like it's like, oh, now we're stop doing that. We're
5
doing
o'clock.
something else now. Yeah, like it's like, okay, we pick up tomorrow where we didn't finish. And ultimately, I work at a job that never ends. I mean, I guess that's what all jobs are.
And that's the downer.
Unless you're building a house.
About normal jobs is you don't get to finish
it's forever.
Exactly, like my job. Like, I have this stupid.
But I mean, having an allotted amount that you can work on.
Right, but you have to look at it for the day and go, you know, today I have these things I want to get done. But even my job, it's like the incoming is consistent. Like, I might get a day where I have no tickets coming in, and I do 5 tickets behind that are time consuming. Mm-hmm. On another day, I'll have 15 tickets come in and get closed and not do any of the existing tickets. So it's this juggling, balancing act, and I have this stupid thing in my head that I get to work and I got to get something done because I have to get it done. And it's just a work ethic thing. Like, I want to work, I want to get things done, I want it to get done. And in reality, done is not a thing.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as done.
There is no such thing
because, and it's hard to let go of it and look at it
fluid.
and go, you know, I did the work today. I did as much work as I could get done today in the time that I had to do it, and the things I did good.
You know, they came up with this fucking real stupid thing that is so stupid. I shouldn't even say it. I don't know.
I do the juggling good.
Oh man, I don't feel like I want to say it anymore.
It's okay.
I can
it's
say
okay.
it to you
it's
off.
Okay.
I can say it to you off.
But and in light of just saying that, companies do things because there's some fucking bean counter sitting behind a desk somewhere with a fucking spreadsheet, and he looks at the data and he mulls it over and he comes up with a fucking plan, or they hire a new manager, they hire a new general manager, and he looks at the thing, or the new ops manager looks at a thing, and they go, oh man, I got this great idea. This thing, it's gonna fucking change the world. This is gonna totally and universally improve our business however many fold. It's gonna increase our productivity by percentages.
Well, check this out. Okay, check this out.
And he justifies his fucking job by fucking your job up.
Well, no,
because it looks good on paper.
Let's say we're making a movie, okay?
Okay.
All right, and I'm like, you know, and like it's like we need a lot of blood, Cory.
It's not done. It's just due.
We need a lot of blood, all right?
A lot of blood,
okay? And we make the movie, and it's like, Cory, we didn't use any of this blood.
Right.
Like, we used a bottle. Next time, from now on, forever, Cory, we are only going to get one bottle of blood. And that's the way we're going to do things, because you know what?
Last time,
we're never, ever going to be in a position where we're going to need an overabundance of something. Even though, like, next movie, it'll be like, Cory, where's all the fucking blood at?
Well, you only let me order one bottle.
Yeah, well, that's the way things looked at the time.
Right.
But, I mean, you know...
Now it's my fault because
it's not like
no
we're trying to make a fucking movie that requires blood and makeup and actors and things. You know? We just need what we need for this movie, Cory, okay? We don't need any extra, okay?
Right.
We don't want any extra.
No.
Because you saw how much other extra stuff we had on the last movie. But, I mean, you know... everything's going to stay the same forever, and we'll always only ever need that much.
Right. Until you need more.
Oh, no, we're not going to need more.
Right.
That never happens.
Okay.
We never ever run out of stuff, okay? Cory, we only service the people that we service. Which doesn't sound like a good practice, does it?
Not to me.
We want to be able to service as many people as possible.
Right.
Maybe sometimes, Cory, when we make this movie, we need more blood. Maybe we don't. You can't really tell. But it's nice when we need more and we have more.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't have enough, I'm not happy.
Who's Robert Rodriguez? I don't get the joke.
Oh, Robert Rodriguez, you know, he's the director that did, like, the Sin City movies and El Mariachi, Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Robert Rodriguez, that shit. Because
they CG'd a bunch of shit after the fact?
No. Like, he wrote the book Rebel Without a Crew. Like, he did everything on his own.
Right.
But, Greg, we're not talking about a movie. This is a
hypothetical movie.
It's a correlation to what I didn't want to say out loud.
Right.
But that's what they came up with this plan. It's like, so we don't need 100,000 of these things. Only 100 people are buying them right now. We only need 100 of them. And that's what's going on. Yeah,
so they want to move to a model where you only have what you need, which it just increases lead time. Because if you need 100 today and you only ordered 100 and you ship those 100 out and then tomorrow you need 100 more, how long does it take you to get another 100?
Honestly, none of that really matters to me and my job. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. But it just is the stupidest fucking thing that I've ever heard. And about making movies. It's because and only about making movies.
And it's because when you have a director and a production assistant.
Well, look, I mean,
all they want to do.
I'm the director, and I'm cussing you out for not having enough blood, Cory. But you know what? I've got a producer and a studio that are telling me like, you have too much blood. Right. So I'm telling you, Cory, we have too much blood, idiot.
Right. No, I get it.
Only half a bottle next time.
Only half. See, you have to pay attention, Gregory.
So, I mean, that's just an example of something that just bothers me.
Sure.
But, I mean, that doesn't affect me. Honestly, I really don't. I mean, we were talking about being understaffed, which is exactly what the problem is. It's being understaffed.
Sure.
Especially when they, like, check this out, Cory. We're making a movie, all right?
Let's make a movie.
But, like, I don't want, like, half of you guys to work the first half of the week. All right, you guys take the second half of the week, okay? So, like, I need, like, 4 or 5 lighting guys. I've only got 2.
Well, you told them to take the half a week off.
What? Was that a bad idea?
It might have been a terrible idea.
So you're saying I'm only making a movie with half a crew half a week, and then I switch it up with the other crew, who doesn't really know what the other crew was doing beforehand? We're trying to get something done that way?
Yeah, good fucking luck. So, anyway. So, now we got a couple of gremlins off of our chest. Why we're a little downtrodden this week.
No, it's not even work for me. Work is actually, it's okay. In fact, they're pumping us with overtime that I'm kind of looking forward to, so I can get...
It's good for the paycheck.
Yeah, because we want to go to Disneyland in October.
Oh, okay.
With, like, my brother and sister, who
Right.
both have kids now in Vegas, so... and they're both, like, only half of them are working, and they both got new kids, so things aren't, like, great financially for them.
Sure.
So, I'm going to, like, kind of
Supportive.
help out
Yeah.
as much as I can. So, like, getting some extra money, I can kind of start taking care of that, and
Sure.
we don't have to worry about, like, when the time comes.
Good plan.
But then I've also got the film festival to go to in 2 weeks, a week and a half now, maybe.
Exciting.
So, I will be leaving. I'll get off work on that Monday, and go to Vegas, and then I'll come back Thursday, and then go back to work Friday and Saturday, which are normally my days off.
Right.
We're dealing with back to school right now.
You guys have a big influx of orders when that happens, or is that?
I mean, we do. I don't.
Real correlation, or is it just that time of year?
We can come into work one day and have barely anything, and then they'll throw out a bunch of, like, key point words that explain something. Yeah, I know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like they'll be like, "Oh, there's a bunch of work today," even though yesterday there was none. Tomorrow there could be none, but today there's a bunch. Overtime at the end of the week. So, because we're expecting work. And I don't know where they get these numbers. And to be honest, like, I don't know. I don't
Are they wrong more often than not, or are they pretty accurate?
They are too accurate for it to not make sense on days when they're like, oh, we have no work today. But yet we know tomorrow there's going to be a shit ton of work. It's like they have a dam of water.
And they're just letting a bunch out.
Or they're
like
standing up at the top of the dam being like, we have no water. Meanwhile, on the other side of the dam,
Right.
they know exactly how much water they have.
Right.
So, I mean, it's
It's a game.
It's a game.
Large corporations play games with their people because their people know nothing, and it's not your prerogative to know anything.
Well, I honestly, I think what's going on is we have the best center in the country, and I feel like when they are not confident about the other centers, that they'll go ahead and flood some of that to us.
Gotcha.
And so we're picking up the slack for the other centers that suck, and they're not telling us that.
That sucks. Because it'd be at least nice to know that what you're doing makes some kind of difference in a positive fashion.
Or at least it makes sense why we have so much work today, and then tomorrow they're kicking us out on a half a day.
Yeah.
So.
It would just make it would make it nice to know.
So, anyways.
So let's clean house.
Let's clean house. Film festival coming up July 30th. Are you going, Cory?
Yeah, probably not.
Not the first Easley to tell me not going.
Yeah, well, he's a slacker.
Darrell
Dorelli?
Darrell told me no.
Yeah, he's.
Um,
You know the type.
Yeah, so July 30th in Vegas, like last year, and
What night of the week is your showing?
Tuesday at 10,
Harsh.
same time slot as last year.
Maybe if you made a better movie, you could. No, that's not it.
Well, it could be that. Honestly, I don't think people get my movies, regardless of the quality or not.
Sure.
I don't think people understand my movies, and I think people need to sit down and watch my movies, and maybe have me there to talk to them about it.
That would be cool. It would be cool if you could.
But I can't do that with a million people.
If you could spoon feed things to people like that. Unfortunately, and here's just my view, right? I like the way you write your movies. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't want to be a part of any.
Well, you know me,
right?
so you'll watch my movie.
Yeah, exactly. But regardless of that fact, I have read and watched your movies, and I think they're relatively straightforward. There's some stuff in there that's like you have to figure it out. And,
well, let's say that the storytelling is straightforward, but let's say that maybe themes are not necessarily straightforward, and themes can kind of maybe jump back and forth.
Right.
God's Salt in particular.
Sure. There's some time
cut. Is it a horror movie or is it a crime movie? Why is Jesus in this?
Where did Jesus come from? Where's
Greg
the
wants to see the poster.
Where's the poster?
Keep saying what you were saying.
So, you have a writing style that doesn't cater to the spoon feed crowd, and as people who like movies that's the big one.
Actual size.
This is
right next to Cory.
That's the bite size. This is the bite size version. So, when you have an affinity for film, when you like movies and you like writing at a level beyond the consumer base.
Ooh, that's laurels.
That's the high def version
with laurels on there for the 3 film festivals.
So, the general public wants to be spoon fed this garbage. They want it all to make sense and be wrapped up in a neat, tidy bow. And you'll notice how well movies don't do when you have something that the bite-sized list that requires thought process. And that's where your film festival movies fall in there. Stuff like I can't even think of one.
Mulholland Drive.
Absolutely. We talk about that one all the time because it's so fucked up. Dakota, that one, was that blow his mind or did he love it?
He hated it.
He hated it?
He hated it.
I didn't hate it. It was just, it was kind of, taxing to watch. Not because it was bad, and not really because it was hard to follow. Well, because you had to figure out what the fuck was going on.
In general, you sit down to watch a movie, and it's
just
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, not A, B, G, F, then go back to D and E.
Right. And it's coded. But regardless of the fact, it's well,
check this out.
It's an art form, and art form doesn't always make sense to everyone.
Did you read... Oh, they absolutely do. Did you ever read or see that article about that girl that was doing she did some kind of study or some kind of report or something, some kind of thesis or something. And so what she did was she went undercover as a DJ. What's that fucking dubstep DJ kind of fucking thing?
I know what you're talking about.
And what she did was she looked at all the popular music and DJs, and what she did was she emulated all that and got super, made a lot of money and got super popular. And at the end of it was to me it was all garbage. My soul and my heart wasn't in it, and it just was for me to prove a point that you people just...
You'll buy anything.
Right. So...
And that's where the artist in you doesn't allow you to make movies that way. Because if you don't have... you can't make something you don't believe in. Unless you're looking at it from a business aspect, which the director's not. The director doesn't look at it from a business aspect. The director looks at it from an art form aspect.
But then again, there are all kinds of different directors. There's a director that's a working director that's Where's the next script? Okay, let's make it.
They'll make whatever. You're making your own movies, and when you have that much soul in it, your own output, you're looking for the product that you imagined initially. And that doesn't fit what the studio needs. That doesn't fit the consumer movie-going experience.
Majority.
It doesn't, and it just is what it is. And you have to accept that that's where you're at making film right now.
Right.
Now, if maybe the landscape changes, and maybe eventually, there's something that you make that people do want to watch. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that might be the one. And, I don't think everybody loves Quentin Tarantino. Not everybody loves his style. There's enough people that do.
But see, there's also a problem with that, because there's also a problem with people who think they don't like it without knowing what it is.
They say they don't like it.
Without knowing what it is.
Exactly. Well, my wife is one person, and I'm not dogging her for having tastes, like opinions and stuff like that. Everybody has an opinion.
I don't get it.
But if there's a Tarantino movie that I want to see, I have to watch it alone, because she won't watch it. She doesn't like the film style.
Oh my God! This just happened to me. We talked about what movies. Like I said, I wanted to see that movie Midsummer. Had I seen it already?
No. You talked about watching it.
I talked about watching or wanting to watch it.
Wanting to watch it.
Because I wanted to see it. Okay. I took Rose to go see it. Was not a good idea. So she doesn't really like horror movies to begin with.
Okay.
But if it's a good movie, she can get into it and she can like it. She can look away certain parts, right? But Midsummer was not one of your spoon-fed kind of horror movies. It wasn't your basic horror. Did you see the movie Hereditary?
No.
The same guy. Who's fucking shit up? Me or you?
It's your ground. The grounds and the cable, man.
She walked away from that movie.
Do you have another cable?
That kind of cable?
Yeah, XLR cable. I mean, we don't have to change it right now. I'm just saying like that's probably what's wrong with it. It's not grounded well inside the case. Stop touching it.
So we went and watched this movie Midsummer, and it, she was feeling sick at the end of the movie just because of the type of movie it was.
Just real gritty.
I mean, it wasn't, because she wasn't even looking at the gory stuff, but it was just a lot of weird things. Mm-hmm. And she can't always necessarily wrap her head around the more kind of artistic choices that storytelling takes.
Sure.
And it's I don't know, did you ever see the movie Wicker Man? Maybe the Nicolas Cage one that's really bad?
Didn't.
I mean, it's essentially that movie where there's they go to Sweden or something, and there's a little cult community that are oh, we're doing this summer festival thing, and there's a lot of weird shit that goes on in there, and it just made her feel very weird, inside. So that's probably why she didn't really watch those movies, because she's very very feely about certain things.
And I don't want to make a generalization, but I'm going to. I feel like women are like that in general. And again, like I said, the wife is the same way. We could be watching this movie, we could be, it could be a 2 or 3 hour or 1 hour or whatever. We could be 2/3 of the way through the movie. She's loving it, whatever it is, right? It could be a great movie.
Then one thing happens,
and then she sees, some sort of representation of animal cruelty.
Okay.
In the film,
and she's done.
And she fucking piece of shit. The whole movie is fucking garbage. Now, she doesn't get riled up about it, and usually when I try to push points to the the positive of the movie,
just get to the end.
and she won't walk out, but she will just cross her arms and sit back and be like, "Well,
she'll tune out.
Fuck this."
She'll tune out.
She does.
Might as well just walk out.
She has such a strong emotional connection with,
Well, what about John Wick
and stuff like that?
That's right at the front of the movie, man.
Exactly. She never watched it.
Okay, you knew ahead of time.
She knows that it happens in the movie, and she's never seen the movie because of that.
Mm-hmm. What about like
One of the
Bambi?
movies we argue about constantly, because I love the movie, is Chappie.
Oh yeah,
I love Chappie.
I know you love Chappie.
I love the movie.
We've talked about
I am
Chappie.
infatuated with it. And because I like so many things about it. I like the commentary, the social commentary, and the child.
You like the movie, you like
commentary.
everything.
There's a lot in it to like, I think.
Well, I hate the end of that movie. I think it's bullshit.
The end of it is kind of bullshit. But they had to give.
They had to do something.
What's his name? Fucking Wolverine. God damn it.
Hugh Jackman.
They had to give Hugh Jackman a little bit bigger part in the movie, so they had to let him blow a bunch of shit up.
It was no. I'm
You
pretty
mean-
sure
you
they
mean
didn't
the-
go to him.
the
I'm pretty
very
sure
end?
he went to the director and was like, "I like District 9. I like Elysium.
He wanted to be part of
Yeah,
part
I
of the
want
project.
whatever you're doing next."
You think that's how it went?
Oh, absolutely. That's
Yeah?
how it goes a lot with
They're
those.
like, I like this project, I want to be in it.
like it's like an indie, big budget something or other.
Right.
And a lot of actors will see like
Something
these
else.
small movies that get a lot of big press, and they're like, "Oh man, that's awesome!" And they go to them, and they're like, "Whatever it is you're doing next, I'm in."
That's cool.
So because he's not the lead in that movie,
No,
he's
not
a
even close.
villain and an asshole,
And
and
all the
he
leads-
does what he does.
All the leads... Oh, actually, the character, you hate the character in that movie because he's such a fucking dick about everything. I mean, you like... I don't know, fucking their real names.
Hugh Jackman,
No, I'm talking about the
Ninja.
Ninja and Yolandi. Like, you like them, and they're the bad guys.
I don't really like Ninja.
He's kind of hard to like.
Are there three people? There's three people. The
There's,
Mexican dude.
there's Ninja, Yolandi, and I don't know the other guy's
Mexican
actual
dude.
name. The Mexican guy.
Fucking.
But,
what's his? He's in Crank.
Is he in that one?
Yeah, he's the bad guy in Crank. Where he's
I
always
think,
like.
how many cranks are there?
2.
Okay, I thought there was 3.
No, there's 2.
I mean, they could do another one. if they
Well, I
wanted.
mean, they're all Jason Statham.
They're all the
fucking,
same.
Wah!
Yeah. Right? Supercharged, running around doing crazy shit.
Jeff
But-
Chelios. Fuck you, Chelios. You're dead man, Chelios. It's that guy.
Yeah. So, but we're watching this movie we saw in the theater, right? And she's not super into sci-fi stuff most of the time.
Shit.
Did your chair take a shit on you?
No, I hit the button.
Oh, okay. So she's not super into sci-fi. It's not her favorite genre, but she'll watch it.
But
And
it's yours.
She's not. It is. She's not ultra into action movies, but we've been married for 10 years. We've been together for like 13 years. So we've been through enough things. Is like she has gotten at least into action movies enough to where she can enjoy them.
Right. Well, see, Rose loves action movies.
So, and they're fun because they usually mix in just enough comic relief
Well, I
and
think
just
action
enough.
movies are kind of like ice cream.
They are. It's absolutely like ice cream. That's why the Marvel series, Greg brought it up. Like the Marvel universe is so popular, even with people that have no fucking clue what they're watching.
Right.
They have no clue where these people came from, what their actual backstory is, the comic books, the cartoons, the everything, the
Right.
video games. Like they don't know what
They
all
know
this
that
stuff
there's
means.
another one coming out. They
go,
want to see it.
Oh, that was great. There's another one because it's a spoon-fed action movie. It's so much fun to watch because it's all that you can know nothing about it. In fact, for Endgame, you could have missed Captain Marvel entirely and not watched it.
Right.
Come into Endgame, watch the movie, you go, "Oh, the fuck is this bitch?" Oh, she's gone. And it's over.
Yeah, no, she's
You know what I
like,
mean? But you still have enough of the other stories. You could miss like 90% of the movies and still get it.
you can watch those trailers
Yeah,
and leading up to Endgame.
absolutely. And you would get everything.
And
You would
you
get it
can
close
watch like
enough.
Winter Soldier. It's like, oh, that's his buddy. Okay. Civil War. Okay, his buddy's back. Oh, him and Iron Man aren't cool. Okay.
Yeah.
You watch Endgame. It's like, oh yeah, see, they weren't cool. They're still not cool. He does not want to call him and shit like that.
Right.
It's
So
like,
you
oh, Hulk was with Thor.
Grasp.
The other one.
Yeah, you could have missed all
They
the
were hanging
offshoots.
out.
You could have missed Ragnarok, all the Thor movies, all the standalones, and still get it. But we're watching Chappie in the theater, and we get to...
Is there an animal cruelty scene in that movie?
It's so slight. Like, you probably don't even remember it.
No.
I remember it because the wife was just so livid about it.
In the theater.
Huh? We're in the theater.
And
watching
she
this
gets
film.
livid about it in the theater.
No. She chilled out, but once we got out, I had just seen the movie. I'd been waiting for it to come out. I love Neil Blomkamp. And we get out of the movie,
Who's doing RoboCop now?
and I Like, I'm charged. I want to talk about the movie. And I'm like, man, that was fucking. Did you see this? And then trying to make points to her about, and even like on a more like cerebral level where I'm talking about the commentary instead of just the action or just the science part of it, because I think to some people that's more important, the storytelling and then the commentary about what they're saying.
Sure.
And there's a scene where Ninja and Chappie go to this. I call it this like a stadium or something, but they're dogfighting on the bottom floor, and they're going to see the big boss because they're going to sell the PlayStations that they stole and that Chappie got for them and everything. And they go up and they're fighting pit bulls in an arena, and I think instead of focusing on the animal cruelty part, you see it. I see it more as a growth point for Chappie, because he sees how people are, or how people can be, where things are disposable, or people or animals are disposable, and he sees this dog that's been dogfighting. He's down. He's hurt. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened, if they put him down after the fight or if they were just showing what it was, like just showing that they ended up or the dog died in the fight. I don't remember.
Is this?
No, because him and Ninja go to the tower together. He takes him to the tower.
Is he there with a dog? This is called the Chappie dog scene. Why is that fucking internet fucking...
Super lag, bro.
It's fucking bullshit. Okay.
But anyways, in any case, there's a dog, there's a pit bull that was fighting. They don't show the fight. They just show that the dog is dead after the fight. And it broke with the wife. She just did not like it. And it hit her in an emotional spot where it didn't allow her to enjoy the rest of the film. No matter what that particular scene said, if you were to extrapolate. Which is, like I said, that's why I like your movies, because I can read into it and say, this says more about the person than the script says.
Man, if only we would have made Get Fiasco. Do you know what I'm talking about in Get Fiasco?
Which part?
It's the part.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! She never would have. She never would have watched
vodka.
She never would have watched the movie because she would have known it was in there.
Well, not until she saw it.
Right. So,
obviously,
I don't care for it. I don't care for it. I don't care for animal cruelty.
Right.
But it's a tool, because what are you doing if you're trying to strike your audience with? What are you doing with a movie anyway? What are you doing with a book? What are you doing with a story? What are you doing with a painting? What do you do with a song? What do you do with lyrics? The whole purpose of all art forms, 99% of the time, is to convey your own emotions on a medium, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's music, film, paper, whatever. When you
in that case, it's not exploitation. Of course, years ago there was exploitation where there was just shit in movies for shit's sake.
Right. It was just gratuitous for no reason. But I think that, and for some people it's just hard to look past it. It's hard to look at it and go, I don't like what happened, but that's what the director wanted. Or the writer wanted that. The writer wanted you to look at that and go, and be disgusted with what you saw. Not because he put it in the movie, but because that's a commentary. That's how people are. People are disgusting. And they do disgusting shit.
Yeah. And in the movie Midsummer, like Rose doesn't like cult stuff, I guess.
Okay.
You know who Jim Jones was?
Mm-hmm.
I put on like a podcast that was, the episode was the Jim Jones episode. And like they have a lot of his kind of fucking rants and raves, his real like audio
stuff that he would say.
And like she fucking had to turn that off. Like I ran into the store or something, I came back out, it wasn't on anymore. But yeah, so she like just couldn't, like, because there's just a lot of weird shit going on in the midsummer. Like the old people jump off of the cliff, and then the one guy fucking jumped off and landed on his leg, so they go over with a big hammer and smash his head in, you know. And then like the one girl is like perioding into like the juice that she gives to the guy to drink, and putting her pubes into like the pie that he eats, because this is part of the mating ritual, and she's gonna mate with him. And then like there's a weird scene where like she's kind of like laid out on this thing spread for him, and he comes in, like, and they drug him so that he's compliant. And then there's like all the women are like naked, and they're like doing like the moaning thing, and he goes in and he bangs her, and they go over to kind of like keep pushing his ass so that he's like, she's pumping him into her and shit. And like it's just it's not a movie that you're supposed to go in and be like, why are they doing this? Because there are cultures that do weird things anyways.
Absolutely.
So like, okay, you got to go in like, okay, this is how this culture is and how they're doing it, and I know that I'm watching a horror movie, so I know it's going to be fucked up.
Sure.
So it's not like I went into Midsommar thinking I was watching a slasher movie. I wasn't watching Halloween. I was watching a slow burn. It's like a 2.5 hour movie. So I put her through 2.5 hours of this weird, fucked up movie. And the movie begins where her sister, like, is like schizophrenic, bipolar. And what she does is she pumps car exhaust into her parents' bedroom. And like when you see her and she's dead, she's got like the thing taped to her mouth. Like, so
sick.
So the girl is dealing with her sister having killed her parents and herself, and her boyfriend doesn't really want to be with her anymore, but now he's stuck because she like just went through this, so he can't break up with her like he wanted to. Like, and that dude's an asshole anyways. Like, right. And he's the dude that fucks the girl, and then they fucking put him in like they got a bear. Mm-hmm. And they cut him open and take all the shit out of the bear, and then put the bear on him like it's a suit, and they burn him up. And there's a couple of dudes that like, oh yeah, I'll go in with them and get burned up too. Like they chose to sacrifice themselves, along with like the other like foreigners that came in. Like they, it's just this weird fucking.
So so because I'm probably never gonna watch this movie, does it boil down to a purpose? Does it at all finish up? You get through all of that.
You're following along, and they're not necessarily spoon feeding you everything, but like because like the foreign dude in America is like, oh, you friends come with me to the festival, and his brother shows up and he's got a couple of like British friends with him, right? It's
like kind of a hostile thing.
It is. It's Wicker Man. That's what I said when I saw the trailer. Right. I posted on Facebook. This looks like Wicker Man meets Hostel.
Okay.
So. And in Wicker Man, like, they make fun of Wicker Man, the remake with Nicolas Cage, because, like, at the end, he's running around in a bear suit. They put the bear suit shit in this movie!
Oh,
like, it's and there is no payoff in this movie. It's just, like, and, Hereditary, this guy's first movie, which is on my Vudu, if you want to check it out. It's another slow burn, kind of fucked up, like, version of Rosemary's Baby. Like he makes these movies that are basically remakes of something else with his own spin, which is kind of what I do.
I was going to say, I don't know anybody who does that.
It's kind of like what I do. It's like, that's a great idea, but I would do it this way.
Sure.
And Hereditary kind of had this kind of cult sentimentality like Rosemary's Baby does, with no real payoff. Like, there's a real fucked up scene in Hereditary where the guy goes like, I want to go to the party. And the mom's like, take your sister. And the sister's like this real fucked up looking little girl. Like, she's weird looking. And I'm not saying that, like, the actress is weird looking. It was obviously a stylistic choice to have her look kind of, like, fucked up looking.
Right.
And they also, like, oh, and she's allergic to peanuts. At the party, she eats, like, a peanut cake or something. So he's busting ass, and like I think he's been drinking, and he's busting ass in the car to kind of get her home because she's like coughing, like her throat's like seizing up on her, and she shoves her head out the window just as he kind of sideswipes his telephone pole, and her head fucking goes flying off.
Gross.
They don't show it going flying off,
right?
But they show him just kind of like he drives home and he goes into his room and he lays down, and then the next day they show the head with like bugs on it and shit, like in the daylight.
Gross.
So, but then it goes to like this whole thing. Like you think the house is haunted by the dead grandma.
Uh-huh.
But it's like a weird kind of like ritualistic thing where they put the little girl back into the boy. So the boy is a little girl now. Like it was just this weird fucking funky movie. with no real payoff. Just like Midsummer has no real payoff.
Right.
The girl whose sister died at the beginning, killed her parents and everything. Like, she ends up being the May Queen or whatever. Mm-hmm. Because they do this weird drunken dance where it's kind of like musical chairs, but they're like kind of doing like the swingy arm thing. They're spinning around and dancing till, someone kind of gets too woozy and falls over, or they run into, they bump into each other and two fall over, and she ends up being the last one standing. She becomes the May Queen. And
how do they sacrifice her?
They don't.
Oh, good. She gets to live.
She gets to live because it seems like the May Queen is the thing to be.
Right.
At least I think, because she doesn't die by the time it cuts to black and goes to credits. Like, they made a big deal about the May Queen because the dude's showing pictures, and she's like, oh, who's that? She looks real pretty. He's like, oh, that's the May Queen. But they never really said if the May Queen gets sacrificed, because they put the fucking teepee on fire with the guy in the bear suit.
Right.
As well as the other kids that were dead.
But you wanted him to die anyway.
It's so fucking weird because they got all these different setups. But I think their big excuse is like, oh, well, that's kind of their thing, because there's like a funky looking, retarded mongoloid guy in the movie. Not unlike the girl. She's not so retarded and mongoloid, but this dude looks like Jason, without the mask.
Right.
He's very fucked up looking. You see him in one scene, right? And then the one black dude's like, oh, I'm doing a thesis on different cultures, and he's talking to like the elder, and he's looking at the book. And he's like, oh, can I take pictures? He's like, no. And freaks out. He's like, okay. He sneaks out at night to go take pictures of the book. And he thinks his buddy comes in. But it's like the mongoloid guy with his face on and his clothes on, but he doesn't have any pants on. And then he's like, the black dude gets smacked on the head and he gets killed. Everyone's dead by this point. They take all the dead outsiders and put them in the teepee with the bear guy. And then the two community guys that, volunteered to sacrifice themselves.
Equal opportunity.
And it's just like, this is what we do. We kill a bunch of people, and then we do it again in another 90 years. It's just a veil of community.
Weird.
I mean, I guess the guy wrote it as a kind of like, I guess he went through a bad breakup or something, and he's like, I'm gonna throw some of that in there too.
Interesting though.
And Rose did not take that one well. And we'd seen horror movies. I've shown her horror movies, ones that I know that are a little bit more straightforward than that one was. Like, I've shown her, like, Exorcist and Poltergeist and shit. Very straightforward
stuff
kind
that
of
has
movies.
A linear story that
and
goes
very well made.
Well
made by, good directors and everything else like that. So, Midsummer was not
one of those films.
No, and there's so many, like, just sitting there watching the movie. All the trailers in front of the movie are horror movie trailers. She's like, is this a horror movie? I'm like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of good horror movies. And after the way she reacted to that, it's like, well, I guess I got to go watch all those by myself.
Yeah.
Like, you got It 2 coming out.
And it's hard when, your partner isn't going to want to watch the kind of films that you want to watch. And just because...
But I know there's still some.
Sure,
that
not
I could
all
squeak in.
Yeah. Well, like... I probably could have talked the wife into going to see John Wick 3. Like, I wanted to see that. Didn't get a chance to. I wasn't like I was going to die without seeing it.
Well, no animals die in that movie.
Right, because that already happened.
I mean, he gets the dog out of there right up front so that he can do his thing.
Right.
So
stab people in the head with pencils and stuff.
Yes.
So that's how he does it.
Does he do that?
He does it in 2.
See, the thing with John Wick 3 is all the action and stuff in the first half, but then they don't really switch it up.
Right. Well, and it's a gratuitous extension of what they've done in the last 2 films.
Yeah, but the first movie was a nice kind of story and action. Right.
It built it. It was
a nice 3-course meal.
It was. The second one was a lot more ice cream.
I did not like the second one at all. I want to forget the second one.
Sure. And I don't think it was necessary to go that direction. I think there was so much...
They ruined the first movie with the second one.
There was so much more capability that they could have used in that film that they didn't go with. Instead, they had to make it weird and then they had to make John Wick the bad guy. Because...
Well, I think they made John Wick a pussy in the second one.
Think so?
Well, I mean...
The way it ended up shows a lot of weakness for a man who obviously has a lot of strength.
The way it began with the dude like, you couldn't have gotten out without my help. When the whole point of the first movie is that he did everything on his own to get out. And he got out and he did it on his own. Second movie is like, oh, he didn't do it on his own. I helped you do it. Now you're gonna help me do this.
Yeah.
So he's not so much as a badass as they set him up to be in the first movie.
I guess you could take that from it.
That's exactly what I took from it.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
And then they make up a bunch of new rules and everything else in the second one, and they're all over the place. Like, about half of that movie is good. All the Halle Berry stuff, they could have cut that out.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
It really was unnecessary.
I saw what they were trying to do. They're trying to build depth in the community. And
it's like a world of assassins and no cops.
Right? It's like, where are the cops when all these people are getting shot at? I can't set off 2 fucking bottle rockets in my front yard without somebody coming to my house. So, I don't know. But there's lots of shit out. I don't even know what's out right now. Is there anything fresh that's worthy of talking about?
Next week is the new Quentin Tarantino movie.
And what's that one?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay, that's
Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's about Charles Manson, which he's a cult leader. Okay.
Okay, maybe that's not the film I was thinking about.
No, you said Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, and I'm sure I've seen the trailer. Maybe I just didn't know what I thought it.
They don't talk about Charles Manson really. The new trailer shows him in it, and they say Charlie, but you're not seeing Charlie stuff going on. I mean, and if you know the backstory, like Sharon Tate, who Margot Robbie is playing, she's pregnant and is killed by Charles Manson and his cultists. So, like, Rose doesn't like cult movies, obviously, after Midsummer. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She doesn't like Quentin Tarantino, although I've shown her Quentin Tarantino movies that she likes.
So she just doesn't know it's Tarantino.
Yeah, she just doesn't know it's Tarantino.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it was because her first husband liked the Quentin Tarantino's movies. And maybe he went on about them or something.
I would say some people are too into certain things where it becomes abrasive to other people. And I hope that I'm not that kind of guy. Could be. Hard to say.
I'm too abrasive. People don't like me.
That's why you don't have any friends.
That's why I don't
That's
have
why
friends.
You have two friends.
That's why nobody showed up to my my cast party.
Nobody literally showed up?
Connor and Maria did, and Shania and Joey did.
But none of the actual cast?
Connor's got a bit part.
Does he?
And his car is in the movie.
Ah.
But no one else showed up. Obviously, my sister doesn't like me anymore, Jessica.
Yeah, it was a little rough patch there.
And then I didn't hear from anybody else. Some people said they were going to go. I never heard from Dakota, Ashley, or Alex, and they all had said that they were going to go on the event page.
I never said I was going.
I know you never said you were going, and you never even responded to me when I said that I invited you.
I said thank you.
Did you?
I did say thank you for inviting me.
I don't think I saw that.
And I didn't come because I would have, if your cast had showed up, I would have felt weird being here. Not because of anything other than...
No one was here. No one was here, and we put a lot of money and time into making sure we had enough food and everything else. And nobody showed up.
Bastards.
And it was really awkward and weird. And now no one's probably going to show up to the movie premiere in Vegas either.
Because it's on a Tuesday.
I know.
In Vegas.
Well, my lead said she's going. She said she bought the tickets, so she'll be there. Alexis.
Nice.
And my cop friend said he's going.
Nice. Well, that's not nobody.
I know it's not, and I'm very happy that they're going.
It'll be more than you had last time.
Yes, it will be. And it'll be the first time anyone will see it. You haven't seen it yet.
I have not seen it. I can't wait until it's available for viewing.
Torrent it.
Rip it.
We never introduced ourselves on this podcast episode.
Sorry, we'll do it at the end and then we'll edit it back up front. The people that are listening know who we are.
Which is nobody. Oh, look, Brandon Bianco said thumbs up. You gave it a like.
Nice.
So is that all the house cleaning, movie screening?
Film festival.
Today I got rejected to a film festival. God Salt and Not in the Dark.
Gotcha. Which one was that?
Film Quest.
Okay.
And it had a nice kind of trophy that was like a Cthulhu trophy.
Oh, cool.
Which is why I submitted my movies to it, because it would be even if they had like a worst movie, I would accept that just to have the cool little Cthulhu trophy.
So, Do you have the movie edited now? Is it 100% where you want it? Where you're gonna
It's
leave
about
it?
99.99%.
Where you're gonna leave it?
Yeah, it's where I'm gonna leave it. I mean, we were still tweaking on it last week.
Sure.
So, because like, I had it, I made it last Wednesday when you're supposed to be here. I watched the movie while I was waiting, and I'm like, there's still a couple of things, and that's what sucks. Is I watch it and I'm like, I hear something, I see something, so I fixed those couple of things, and I think it's just about there.
Nice. So, you can't bury your head in the sand forever. What's next?
What's the next movie?
What's next? What are we working on next?
I am
So we
working.
talked about doing some shorts, potentially.
Which probably won't happen.
Dick. Carry on.
Well, only because I get an idea in my head and I want to run with it, and it's like
So you have a new idea then.
I have a new idea. I have a couple new ideas. I have multiple new ideas.
All right, so fire that bitch up.
And
Let's hear it.
and maybe some shorts.
Sure.
Maybe. At least maybe one.
But do you have an idea right now that you're working over? Or you're going to get ready to start working on?
I already started writing this movie.
Is it another feature?
It's another feature, and it's an awesome feature, and I want it to be the most awesome feature, and I want it to be
does it have a working
like
title yet?
well, like think like Clandestiny, right?
Okay.
My movie Clandestiny,
Yeah.
where Arnold Schwarzenegger is supposed to be the dad in it.
I'm tracking.
Did I tell you that I wrote that scene as a
Yes.
short?
I have. Or
I
think
gave it
texted
to you. I gave
yeah.
it to you, or I might have given you a physical copy.
You might
I
have.
might have given you a stack of shorts, and then like Cory.
No, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
That did not happen.
Oh, you know what? I gave all those to my brother. I took those down to Vegas. I
Okay.
was like, Sam,
Here you
stack of shorts. So I might have sent it to you on Messenger.
Yeah.
But Clandestiny is about the two detectives, Black and Stone,
Right.
and they're doing a thing. So I'm writing another movie it's Black and not Stone, but it's Alexis's role. Oh wait, never mind. I can't say.
Oh!
I can't say anything.
Spoiler alert! What happened just now?
Oh fuck!
The world got destroyed.
Oh man!
Cut that part out.
Cut that part out of your head. Oh.
I don't know shit.
Oh man.
It still doesn't make any sense
Well, let's just say her character
okay.
from Not in the Dark shows up in this.
in this next film.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, look, the idea for Not in the Dark and Alexis's character in this movie was I sat down to write like a slasher movie, and I was thinking like, well, what if the prostitute ends up being like the only one alive and kind of like the hero at the end of the movie?
Fun.
So that's where that idea came from, because usually it's like, you know,
She's the first one to go.
first one to go, expendable, blah blah blah.
Right.
Well, why don't I just flip it and make the prostitute like the hero of the movie?
There you go.
Which is not like a huge spoiler because there's always like a final girl in these kind of slasher type movies.
Sure.
So yeah, so the prostitute shows up in the movie that I'm writing, and I want it to be very actiony. Like
Okay.
I want to do shit that we haven't done. Like as much as possible.
And I think that
It's a buddy cop movie.
awesome. You have buddy cops in mind.
I got multiple buddy cops in mind for this movie.
Good deal.
Like rivalries.
Ooh, like different sets of buddy cops.
Right, and they're, you know, like, did you ever see the movie Men at Work with Charlie Sheen and Emilio
It's been
Estevez?
a long time.
Where they're garbage men,
Yeah.
and they're pranking other garbage men,
Right.
and, like, the other garbage men kind of pull a prank on them at, like, a dire moment in the movie. They're kind of like, we don't have time for this! You know, shit like that, and just, like, flipping some stuff on its ear, but not really, because it's kind of inspired by this movie that I love. I don't want to say what, but it's a buddy cop movie that I think is
Sure.
super funny and super great, and I kind of want to do, like, that takes place in Frisco. I want to do our Reno, Nevada version of that. And, like, you know, just make it, like, as cool and crazy and as fun and funny as possible. Like, I want to be able to take scenes from that movie and put it into a trailer, like I couldn't do with Not in the Dark.
Sure.
Like, there's not another Not in the Dark trailer, it's because there's not much more I could do.
Right.
God Salt Street Toughs had scenes that I can put in that wouldn't, like...
Wouldn't blow up the movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't blow up the movie. So that's what I got in mind is this buddy cop movie. That, like, I started to write it, and I got, like, almost 10 pages in. Like, I got my setup there, but then I'm like, I got a bunch of ideas too. But I feel like I don't want to do it myself, so I want to work on this with my brother, which I've tried before unsuccessfully.
Sure.
I mean, he put a little bit of input into Not in the Dark. So, like, he wrote some stuff for the opening scene of Not in the Dark. So, like, some of those lines of dialogue came from him in Not in the Dark. I mean, Get Fiasco didn't have anything from him, but, like, All Good Things, which I don't think you read.
That's the one I didn't read.
So that one, like, he wrote some of that in that movie. So when I go down there to Vegas for the premiere,
running across him.
yeah, like I told him, I want to sit down and I want to fucking hash this out and then write it and watch the movie that's like the main inspiration for it. So
okay. So one in the pipe, one in the can,
and maybe a short.
Maybe a short. Well,
radio silence.
Yeah, I'm out. I already tiraded on the stuff I was covering. So, film festival's coming soon. Can't wait to hear about what comes out of that.
Hopefully more than last year, because I'll have some people with me.
Sure.
And hopefully Alexis said she's bringing a couple of friends. Paul, my cop buddy. See, I'm thinking of him for like the captain.
Okay.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, and he's got actual field experience, so he can bring some of that to the table.
Right.
Nice.
So he'll be the captain in the office that's always yelling at them like, "Quit fucking up." I hear voices.
I hear dead people. I don't hear anything. It's not on my end. Could be radio interference. Could be the government. I think you're crazy. Yep, no, you're crazy.
No. Okay, this is another thing that I kind of wanted to play around with. So, it was my anniversary yesterday, right? And there was something that I wanted to do for her that I forgot about. But I did a little bit of it yesterday. So there's this old cartoon show that she liked as a kid, right? And so I'm going through and I'm pulling the video off and I'm putting them on discs for her so she can watch them, right?
Mm.
One of them was not in English.
Okay.
And I was like, well, what if, I got some people together and we fucking
dub the cartoon?
Dub the cartoon. And, like, not tell her. So, like, I might pick out... I found the English version of it. But I might grab one of those and write up the script, transcribe it, and then... like get some people in and record the lines and then just put it on there and kind of produce that episode with our voices.
That would be fun.
So that's something that I want to do.
Because I was kind of bummed that we didn't get to do any of that with that other piece.
Yeah.
Because some of the writing in there was fun.
I should have. That was my writing, baby.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The writing in it was fun. And then I also liked the animation. I would like to see that produced. I would like to see it done if it ever got finished.
I haven't heard from that guy in a while.
But I always thought it'd be fun to do some like voiceover dubbing or our own variety of such.
So I might pull one. I'm thinking because they're all like Grimm Fairy. It's called Grimm's Fairy Tale Classics, and it's like an anime from like the 80s.
Okay.
And I'm thinking maybe like the Rumpelstiltskin. I haven't watched any of these, but like
that'd be fun. It's just a fun project, something fun to fuck with.
Yeah, and just kind of
just do it.
The only thing is like then I would have to also go in and put music on it. It would have to be a whole production.
Sure.
Because it's not just like taking out the dialogue, because the dialogue is also talking over some of the music that's on there, which I would hate to lose the music because that's part of the show. But hopefully I can figure it out.
Sure.
So
might be a fun editing exercise. Anyway.
I'm definitely going to be trying to get all these onto. There's like 50 episodes. And I can get like 5 episodes on a disc.
You can't put them on a DVD?
Yeah, on like a Blu-ray.
Oh. How long are they?
Like 20-minute episodes. I mean, look, I don't know enough. All I know is that it shows 25 gigabytes in the corner, and it tells me as it clicks up how much space I have.
Gotcha.
So, like, better safe than sorry. 5 on a disc, 10 discs or so. It's not the end of the world.
Sure.
So as I'm doing this, I'll find one and write it up and then just figure out, and then we can watch it and do some lines of Coke.
Coke is fun. Why not?
And then maybe we'll have an interesting little kind of version. Like they did it with like C-Lab 2021 on Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy just took C-Lab 2020 from the 70s and put his own dubbing on there.
Right.
He eventually it became its own cartoon and not just that.
Right.
And then they did do an episode that wasn't like...
So they like do their own lines, or they just recreate the existing lines?
He did one that was a recreation of existing lines.
Right.
But otherwise, it's a goofy, silly Adult Swim type show.
Like where you take the action and the...
Right, and it
just make your own thing based on
it became
what's
its
there.
own thing instead of just an overdubbing that was
Right.
funny. It became actually like animated with those characters
Right.
in a certain way. But then there was one serious episode that was just a recreation of the original one with the current actors. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is I'll just copy the lines and then we will speak the lines. Yeah, and we're not going to make it like funny or goofy. We'll make it legit,
act
but it'll be us. And then
yeah.
I can watch it with her and see if there's any kind of like...
Watch any reaction.
Like, do I know that voice? But like if like I'm Rumpelstiltskin or something, I probably won't be reading it Rumpelstiltskin like my voice. I'll probably do like a, oh, I'm Rumpelstiltskin.
See, I think that's what's fun about any kind of voice acting, which obviously we haven't done hardly any of. But it's like you can fuck with it and be somebody else. That you don't even have to look like that person.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Cory, you gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I think that covers the bases. Thanks for joining in, kids. Next time, we eat a whole pie.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. I was making shit up.
Have you talked to your dad at all about the movie?
I've not.
Has he talked to you about it?
Has not.
He asked me, like, what did Cory say when he found out I was in it?
I knew
like,
he was
nothing.
in it. He posted shit on Facebook. It was easy.
Yeah, but like, I told him not to say anything.
Well, he didn't.
Because I was hoping that when you watch the movie,
Pulled a
it's
Jeremy
like,
Renner.
oh, he's here. I'm the one that fucked up.
Pulled a Jeremy Renner.
Who, me?
My dad. Posting Facebook shit.
Oh, Tom Holland?
Tom Holland. Blowing it.
So, I mean, so he was just like, how did he react? I bought him a shirt.
Daryl.
I bought him a shirt because he was supposed to do a post-credit scene that we never did.
What a dick.
Oh, I think it's over there. But I bought him a shirt for his post-credit scene.
Right.
But
Never came to fruition.
never came to fruition because he decided to get married and do a honeymoon or something.
Oh, Jesus.
Your dad will go on these Facebook jags where he'll post and post and post and post.
And then you see nothing.
And then you won't hear anything.
Yeah.
And it's all like this conservative fucking Republican shit.
Oh, yeah. He's a typical old guy on Facebook.
Like, he posts shit that's like, I don't know you. But I know him. It's like, that's not who he is when I
Yeah.
am with him in person.
And it's, I don't know, like, the way I do my own social media now, it's like, I might thumbs up something that I agree with, but I'm not going to, like, grab it and put it on my front page. It's like, I don't give a shit that much anymore.
He's a fucking nut, dude.
Oh, yeah? He for sure is.
Are you friends with him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I know some people aren't friends with their parents on purpose for shit like that.
You know what, dude? Like, if at this point in my life, like, if I'm, like, physically friends with you or you know me or whatever, like, what am I going to hide anymore? Like, who cares?
Well, it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of, like, he's posting a million dumb
like,
shit things. It's like, okay,
yeah.
unfollow, unfriend.
Yeah, and,
Honestly,
and
that's
if
what
it
is.
got irritating...
It's not
like,
about what you're posting. It's about what someone else is posting.
And I think that if it got aggravating, like, I have some friends that, you know, I've been friends with for a long time that I follow, that I don't agree with on a lot of stuff. So what? You know, it's an opinion. I have opinions. They have opinions. And some people are a lot stronger about those particular opinions. And that's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
It's the closed doorness about it that kind of is where it's like, okay.
Well, because Facebook is like standing in a room by yourself and shouting like no one can hear you, except it's being recorded and then regurgitated if somebody wants to look at it.
Right.
You know, it's there for people who want to see it. And so I don't post a lot of stuff outwardly. Like, I rarely post
Yeah,
anything.
I don't anymore.
You know, I put stuff up. It's like, hey,
It's all movie
I
stuff.
took
for
the
me
kids
these
to
days.
do this, or, you know, whatever. Or I'll repost something that I think is interesting. You know, but I have more fucking science and news articles and shit on my page than I have anything else.
I don't see anything from you. Do you even post anything?
Hardly ever.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
I
like
don't
last
see.
week, I think I posted some pictures of the
You
kids.
usually post like, "Oh, I want this cool gun."
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
all
well,
you
one of
ever
these.
post. That's all you ever
Want
post.
one of those? Yeah. So, and that's, I don't know, because I don't like airing my laundry or
Sure.
my opinions that loudly. You know, I don't mind coming on here because I think that
No one listens.
I think no, and even if they did, dude, if 1,000, 100,000, 1,000,000 people listen to this podcast, I would feel better about articulating my point and my
Right.
standpoint
Right.
and my opinion on this format than posting a one-liner or a fucking 90-page article like somebody posts all the time about, you know what I mean? They post a fucking a stroller on Facebook. It's like I start reading and I go, oh, this is about this.
Moving on.
I'm not reading that whole thing, so
Yeah.
I don't care what your opinion is anymore. Like, it's not that kind of platform. This kind of platform, if anybody sits down and listens to this, ever,
Well, look, one day
they'll have my opinion.
your
and if
kids
they
will
could-
be
they
able
could-
to listen
They can
to
take
this.
it or leave it. They can take it or leave it.
Think about one day when you're dead and gone.
Absolutely.
Grandkids can
This
listen
will
to
be
this.
floating around on the internet, and somebody will pick it up and go, "Oh, it's granddad."
Can you imagine that? Like your grandkids.
It's a trip. It's a
your
trip to
great
think about.
grandkids. They'll know who you are because of this. They'll see you in the movies.
And it's funny to think about because that's what technology gives us to perpetuate, you know, a person beyond their physical capability. You know, we
They'll
watch
make a hologram.
movies. We watch movies of people that
Are
have
dead,
been
long dead, long dead.
for years. That they were never even prime while we've been alive.
Right.
You know, and I think that's a great technology. And I think that anybody that, you know, can use that.
Well, seeing
for their
movies
own.
with dead people is one thing,
Sure.
but this is you.
This is this is real me. This is the way I think.
This is not.
I'm
Corey Easley.
I
I'm
started
playing the
writing-
part of Corey Easley today.
I started writing
a journal.
whatever you want to call it. I bought a journal,
Dear Diary.
but I refuse to write that way.
It's Dear Diary.
Dear diary.
I had a bad day at work today.
my feelings.
Why do you
hurt.
hate me, God?
Why? No.
Are you there, God? It's me, Corey.
So I bought a diary, but I refuse to. I refuse
Does it
to
have a lock
write in
on
that
it?
stuff. No, this is a leather. I bought it because I really liked the book, and then I was trying to decide what I was going to put in
Moleskin?
it.
A moleskin fucking
Whatever.
with a bookmark in it and a fancy $100 pen attached and
No, it wasn't all that. But I was like, what am I going to write in this thing? Because I'm not going to be like, today I went to work and so was a doo-doo head to me. And like, who's going to ever fucking read
so
that?
now
I don't give
so
a
you're
shit.
gonna have like a Kevin
So-
Spacey from the movie Seven. It's fucking
What,
tiny writing from left to right and no fucking sensical
No
order
space,
whatsoever.
So what I am doing with it is almost this kind of format where I would like I tirade on here a little bit about certain things. So I'm trying to I don't even know what I'm calling it, but like my view or opinion on certain
Dear
topics.
Diary, remember the movie
So that-
Wedding Crashers?
I think like in the first page I wrote was like why I'm writing any of it. It's like, you know, I'm using this format to like transfer my ideas so that someday when my kids are grown they can read this and they can know.
Or when the aliens are uncovering the rebel
And I'm like, oh,
future societies.
chicken scratch. You know, but
So you've written it.
somebody might writing it. I've written in it.
Yeah, you've gotten 2 volumes, 3 volumes
And
out already.
I started recording what I'm going to write because I don't have time to sit down and write while I'm having the thought.
I can't possibly listen to myself. Like, I don't like doing that.
I haven't transcribed it yet, so I don't know how that's
It's
going to work.
insane. I couldn't possibly do it.
I don't like listening to my own voice.
I hate
most of the time.
transcribing things. It's so
Yeah.
tedious. So fucking
So,
tedious.
I need to pay somebody to do it. You get on Fiverr. But I don't know. I don't know how it's going to pan out, but it's just it's an outlet to
Well,
put
you've got
ideas on
this for
paper.
your kids one day.
Yeah, and
So
I
when
don't know.
Callan's
I think
like
it's cool.
15, 16, later.
Dude, if he
What's
if
the
he's- if
age
he's
when
smart
you're
enough-
gonna...
You know, if he's smart enough
Oh,
to find it,
if he finds it on his own.
if he's smart enough to find it, he can listen to it. I'm not hiding anything. You know, what if I've never actually talked about anything that I would be ashamed of?
No,
someone
I don't think
knowing,
you have.
You know?
But I mean, well, like, when you talk about, like, when we went down to Vegas and we did the podcast in the car.
Sure.
And you're talking about your drunken ramblings in Mexico.
Oh, sure. You know, and those, at that point, like, if he's a teenager.
Going on a holiday with
like,
your girlfriend's family.
He's going to find out about that shit. He'll probably ask me. And I would tell him.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Shit
I've
happens,
seen the way, like, I would wait. Because I've seen the way, because Rose is very candid about the bullshit that she pulled when she was young.
Sure.
And it's ammunition for this one to be like, oh, but remember, you used to do shit like this too.
Yeah, I guess that's
So
true.
you really need to
You
wait.
gotta keep like bulletproof until it's too late.
Yeah, until they're adult enough to where they're
Sure.
able to actually fuck up on their own, rather than be like,
Fair point.
oh, but you were stealing cars when you were 15. That exact same fucking shit.
Sure.
Like, I've heard that shit.
Wow.
So,
Fair point.
like, yeah, no, you need to wait
still,
so
I
they
mean,
can't put it, because, like, I'm
What
serious,
am I gonna
I've
do
seen
though?
it.
What am I gonna do though? Am I gonna fucking try to censor the internet? That's not gonna happen.
No,
So
but you're
if-
right.
if
You're
he-
right.
if
If he
he-
finds
if
it
he
on his
finds
own,
it-
if he finds it on his own, it is what it is.
And he has
But I'm
the
just
he has the
saying,
mental fortitude to sit there and listen to us fucking
every
ramble
single
for
episode.
2 hours.
Well, see, it's not all you though, because there are other episodes with other people, so
Exactly.
he might not hear all of them, might not want to hear all of them.
Sure.
Or
And
maybe he'll be our
maybe
biggest
he does.
fan.
You never know. But that kind of thing is like that. Yeah, it's neat. And maybe somebody does down the line.
I mean, we
listen to
talk
it.
about him on some of these.
Sure.
So
Mommy's not coming home.
Mommy's not coming home anymore. Mommy's not coming back.
God, I have to find that episode. Is that the title?
It is the title of it, and because remember I asked you if you listened to him, and you're like, oh yeah, I like the Don't Be a Mexican one,
Right.
which I listened to, and then
I think
I
liked it
mentioned
just because I said that.
I mentioned, and it's not till the very end.
Right.
And I mentioned to you the Mommy's Not Coming Home one. I remember that being
Right.
funny, so I listened to that one, and I think I texted you. I was like, this whole episode is basically me ranting and raving about Get Fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
And like the first, like I didn't even get to the Mommy's not coming home anymore part before I turned it off, because it was a lot of ranting and raving, and it was not a funny episode. It was just like, it's how I felt at the time trying to make this movie, not
Right.
The Dark. And I'm like, this is mirrors too closely to my mindset right now. So I didn't even make it to the funny stuff. I think it came from that book. I think it was a question in that book.
Oh yeah, what would you say to somebody about something? I don't know.
Questions for terrible people, right?
Yeah,
And it's like,
we should do one of those.
Like, would you right now, or you gotta go?
Oh, I don't have to go anywhere.
It's right
I'm
here.
getting hungry.
I think
We
it's
should
right
do
here.
one.
We'll do one. It's right there.
He gonna do one. Can I reach it?
It's against the wall like this.
Am I gonna read it to you?
Sure.
There we go.
It's usually me.
Say when.
Now. Pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up.
Pull it out.
Yeah.
Which side are you?
It doesn't matter. They're double-sided.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. So just pull it out. That way we don't double it up.
All right.
This is a long one.
Oh, it's the same one.
Is it? No, I think
No,
it's
it's
double-sided. Okay, here we go. We'll do one of these and then we'll sign out.
You're sitting alone at a cafe. At the table next to you, two strangers are having an obvious first date that seems to be going really well. When one of them goes to the restroom, the other, who you're really attracted to, starts chatting you up and asks if they could have your number. Do you give it to them? And if not, do you say anything to their date?
Oh, God, that's a...
I mean, I imagine
That's a moral
at this
quandary.
point where... imagine at this
Like, look, if
point,
I'm a single dude, I'm
you're
eating by
single.
myself.
Right.
I just, it's my favorite restaurant. I felt like a burger or whatever after work. And there's like a hot chick and a dude. Right? That's what it's saying.
Yeah, and dude gets up to go take a piss.
Well, no, 'cause so I'm watching, I'm listening, they're giggling and laughing, and they're, they're smiling, and they're staring into each other's eyes. Dude gets up to go take a dump. Right?
And he's gone for like a long time.
It's gone enough to where I'm like, maybe she would have to say something to me first.
Because you wouldn't go there.
Right. She would have to say something to me first, and maybe she's like, terrible date. No, maybe she's not like that. It can't be that obvious.
No.
But she's just like, maybe they brought my food, and she's like, oh, I got that. That looks pretty good. You know,
Polite
clearly
conversation.
I'm writing the whole script.
Polite conversation.
Polite
though.
conversation.
Naturally.
Right. So it doesn't say. It says.
It says she starts chatting you up and asks if they can have your number. So she prompts you. She
Okay,
says,
so it doesn't
she
say.
goes, "Hey, you're really funny.
It
Do you
don't-
think I could have? You think I could call you sometime?"
No, not even that. So before we even go to what it is, like it doesn't say that she's flirting. Just says that we're talking. She asked for my number. Okay, maybe she thinks I'm cool, but then again, like, dude comes back, she would have to be like, homeboy over here is cool, talking about me.
Unless she was just.
But
playing.
if she doesn't say, because that's where you find out where this is going, is what game she starts playing.
Sure,
when
he
dude comes back. So
do
if I'm
you-
a
okay,
stranger,
do you give her the number?
so
That's the first
hold
question.
on. We're walking through this. So if I'm a stranger when he comes back,
Right.
then she was flirting with me. But if she talks about me like to him and it's like, oh hey, I just met this dude, he seems pretty cool, then she probably wasn't flirting.
Or she's trying to pull you in on a three-way.
Which I
Not
wouldn't
out of the
do.
realm of possibility.
It isn't.
Not out of the realm
It
of
isn't.
possibility.
How do you say menage
Menage
a trois? So what is it? Do you give it to?
Do you give your number to her?
If not, do
And
you
if
say
not,
anything
do you say anything
to
to
the
the date if you don't? Because if
All right,
you do,
let's skip the number section of that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say anything.
one way or the other.
One way or the other, I wouldn't say anything.
If the dude comes back, whether you give her the number or not,
But I'm an evil fucking bastard asshole.
you're
like
like,
that.
hey, he's gonna find out the fucking hard way, one way or the other.
Right. Like this is one to grow on. Let him deal with this.
Sure.
I don't know, maybe he's a crazy guy. He's like,
learning
"Whoa," stabbing
opportunity.
people.
Sure.
Um,
Well, and then what if you tell him and then he beats your ass because?
well,
it
this is an
happened at
interesting
all?
question since I've been in a situation not very similar to this. So, like, if I was a single dude and I thought this chick was hot, before the situation that I was in similar to this, I probably wouldn't give it to her.
Sure.
Because I would think, like, who's she fucking kidding?
Right.
This is bullshit. Like, yeah, I'll give you my number and you'll really call me back. You're with this guy, okay?
Right.
Having been in a situation like that, where I was,
Where you're the other man.
where I am the other man,
Right.
well, maybe, probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's not so bad, or just,
No, it's just they're not married,
right.
as far as I know. They just seem like it's first date. It says first
It
date.
says first date. Obvious first date.
Right. Because I would be in the mindset to where I wouldn't be giving her my number in a situation where I'm going to be her boyfriend.
Right.
It would be
Should
like
be-
a singles kind of
I
situation.
don't want to talk to you. I just want bang, bang, bang.
I haven't heard that in so long.
It's like old school internet stuff.
E-bombs world.
Probably.
I haven't heard that in so long. But that's where it would be for me, because it's like, she's obviously not into this dude. I think she's hot. She wants to hook up. I'll hook up with her.
Sure.
I mean, it's not fucking her husband. So I probably would.
Sure. But for the purposes of hooking up in that situation.
Yeah, I'm not like,
And that's where I fall.
get married.
That's where I fall on the topic. Like, if this chick wants my number and I'm single dude, opportunity arises, sure. Here you go. Have a nice date.
Right.
But at the same time,
Can I get this to go?
At this age, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Even if I were single now, I'd be like, yeah, no. Because if you're on a date with this dude and you trying to fucking hook up with me too, I don't know what kind of fucked up ass crotch craze you got going on.
Oh.
Like, that's too.
Are people still dirty
horror-ish.
these days?
Oh yeah.
Are they?
Oh yeah. It's more acceptable now because nobody talks about it.
Really? I figured people were more clean.
I don't think so.
I mean, can't you tell
think it's
like
just
the clean
more
ones from the dirty
ubiquitous.
ones?
I don't know.
That's
Dude, I haven't
scary
played the game.
thought.
I haven't played the game for so long.
That's another reason why. That's absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Like, just because I'm so conservative on that point now.
I mean, she may as well have a dick.
She might as well.
Yeah.
Maybe she does.
Right.
Especially today. You never know.
Right.
She might be real good looking and
I
still
mean,
have
she
a fucking
could be
ding
some
dong.
kind of Olympic dancer, skier.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever. Figures
Doesn't matter.
No, isn't that what Homeboy was? Jenner.
Oh yeah, like Olympic skater or something.
Yeah.
So, I look at that situation and go, it's trashy. It's trashy front to back.
Right.
Not only are you with a guy and you're asking me, but I don't want to, like, being the other guy is one thing. But being like, she's trying to double dip on a date, like, that's super trashy.
I might steal that and put it in a movie, dude. I like that. I like this one. This one's
Yeah,
fun.
no, this is better than some of the ones. I'm glad it was kind of long. And
Some are so stupid. Some are like, would you rather
That's what
cut
they're-
off your hand or be a millionaire? I'll take the millionaire.
Yeah, like this one, I think is, I don't know. Maybe this one has more connotation to it.
Okay.
Also,
All right. Let's hear it.
your mom is going to be arrested on trumped-up felony charges. She'll never be convicted or imprisoned, but her arrest and mugshot will be a major local news. You have the option of taking the blame for her, but you have to agree to complete a full year community service where you clear dog poop from city streets. What do you choose? So you either take the felony charge
Well,
or you
this
let
is
your
all
mom
about who you're
ride.
asking.
Sure, and for you, you'd be like, sorry,
par
Mom.
for the course with my mother.
Yeah.
So like, and you with your mom, would you take the blame for your mom, who is maybe a listener of the show?
But I don't know. I think
We're not live anymore.
She does tune in
We're
sometimes.
not
She'll
live
pick up the podcast on an off chance.
Probably won't make it to the hour and a half mark.
You have the option of taking the blame for her, but you have to agree
Clean
to
up shit
complete
for a year.
service for cleaning up poop for a year on the city streets. Like, okay, but do you still get? But do you get convicted? Like, that's my thing. Like,
No, I think the plea.
So, like-
I think the deal
like
that
the
you
plea
get
bargain is you
is
don't
like
get,
all charges are dropped, but look, we need some shit that needs to be cleaned.
right.
If you do the year's time,
And
we'll
if that's
expunge it
if
from
that's
the record.
if that's the plea deal
But
and
if you
there's
miss
no
one day-
there's no record,
if you miss one day,
then you get the charges.
right?
If that's the choice, it's like if that's the plea deal and you get no like legal ramification, all you do the community service and you're done deal. And so you get your face in the paper for being like part of a scandal or whatever you want to call it, right? Like I'm not running for fucking.
That's how they
president.
get you, though. Is you can be innocent, but when someone reads your name as guilty, you're guilty forever.
Sure.
And like 5
In
months
the-
down the
in
line,
in the public eye.
5 months down the line, and a little splurge at the bottom is like, oh, dude was innocent.
Yeah.
No one ever sees that.
But in the paper and in the community eye, you will always be the fuckhead.
right.
And I don't know. It doesn't seem serious enough to go one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would take it or leave it because it's not going to hurt my mom that badly.
It says trumped up charges,
Exactly, like it's fake.
and she won't be convicted,
be
or
convicted
imprisoned.
or imprisoned.
And your mom's like what, 50 now?
Exactly, she's not running for president either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I love my mom, and if this were different, if it was like your mom is going to be arrested on these trumped up charges and she's going
Go to prison for life.
She's going to go to prison for
20
life
years.
for 5 years or 10 years or whatever, or you take the fall but you do this
1 year.
lightweight
shit
community
cleaning.
service. What do you do?
Right.
I take the blame for my mom all day long. Keep her out of
Right,
prison.
you're right. That is a very take it or leave it kind of like.
Like
or
this
give or
is
take,
this
whatever.
it's a give or
One-
take.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 50-50.
It doesn't make that much difference one way or the other.
I hate those ones.
There are some ramifications to either side. Like, being a major news deal, it could be bad for my mom's career.
Right.
You know what I mean? For her
Right.
job, it could because she works with the legal system.
I thought she worked at the Atlantis.
She does, but she works with the DA and they convict people. And she goes to court all the time. So I mean, this would hurt her
In
job.
her Atlantis job?
Mm-hmm. She's a collections agent. She's a collections manager. She collects a lot of money for the company
From who?
from debtors, from people that borrow money from the casino.
Do people do that?
Yeah, it's called the marker. You can come in and write a check
Like, they
to the
do
casino.
that now?
Yes.
Oh.
It's like loan sharking, dude. They extend you a line of credit for X amount of dollars.
I didn't think
so
they
you can
did
take
that.
it in the casino and you play it, and then you owe it, and you have X number of days or X amount of time to pay it back. And then these guys that take out, she's gotten fucking markers for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And these people are fucking, they borrow the money and then
Debt for
piss
life,
it
go to
away,
prison.
and then they don't pay it back, or they pay it back over time, and if they sue them or whatever, and it's like, it's a weird thing, but that could hurt her job if that were the case.
Right.
So, but also me, if the spectacle were reversed, and now I'm in the paper because I take the fall, that could be bad for my career path.
Trumped up felony charges. So like what? Drugs, guns,
Guns,
theft,
drugs, violence, whatever, like violent crime, stuff like that could fall into felony. Grand theft.
Let's do one more.
Do one more?
Because that one sucked.
That one sucked dick. Here, you do. Just rip it.
Your entire extended family, including you, is put in a no-holds-barred steel cage match until only one person is left standing. Which relative are you putting your money on to emerge bloody but victorious with the belt? Grandmas are scrappy.
Grandmas are scrappy. Your whole extended family, including yourself?
Your entire extended family, yourself included. So, like, let's say not you, because why wouldn't you bet on yourself? Or do you know of, like, a relative that might take you out?
I can think of one relative in my extended family that I would have, well, maybe not just one, but like physical capability wise. There's probably 2 solid people in my extended family that I would put good money on. Just because, if it weren't an emotional battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're in the death match with your fucking family, and
Let's say they put a gag on you.
I'm not gonna fucking punch my mom in the face. You know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna happen. I'd let her win.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If that's the choice. But if it's like no holds barred and you have to do it, or we're just gonna kill everybody.
Well, look, which relative are you putting your money on to emerge bloody but victorious with the belt? So, like, you said you wouldn't hit your mom.
Right.
Can you say the same about her?
But she wouldn't hit me?
Yeah. Or
no, she
anyone
else.
else.
She loves me.
Right. And everyone else. So someone's going to
taking out that aspect, and for my own like decision making process.
Okay,
right?
so removing the I love my family.
I love
aspect.
my family aspect because there's not.
I'm not going to hit any of you guys.
There's a handful of people in my family I wouldn't mind hitting in the face, but
Daryl
Easley. There have been times when I did want to punch him in the face.
Yes, I think we've talked about it.
Yeah. There was one time where he gave me shit and I snapped a little bit and I socked him a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not like fighting.
When you were a teenager, or
no, as an adult. it was like rough,
You pushed him?
Yeah. Like I rib shotted him, kind of play like fuck you, I'll fuck you up. Right. If you want to get serious, fucking let's do it. I was young. I was fucking 25 or something like that. But, I would have, like, my dad's a scrappy dude, but he's older. He's
older.
He's fucked up. He has back problems. He's got leg problems, knee problems, shit. It's like,
he ain't gonna last
he might hold his own for a little while, but my little brother,
Zach,
and I almost hate to say it, but my cousin Jason.
Okay.
This guy you've never met.
Right.
But he's...
He's a big guy?
He's a little bit shorter than I am, but I mean, this guy is he's fucking stocky, man.
Built like a brick shit house.
He is, and he's like... we don't even know, like, this sounds terrible, but we don't know what his other half of his genetics are, because nobody knows who his dad is.
Okay.
He doesn't know, his mom doesn't know.
Could be The Rock.
It could be fucking Dwayne Johnson, because he's built like that, except he's short. He's fat right now because he's lazy, laying around the house, like not working, kind of thing.
Sure.
But I mean, this guy he fucking work out or not, eat right for fucking 3 months, and he could be put together like Dwayne Johnson. This guy just fucking swells up. Like when he does work out,
he's got the right metabolism.
He does. His metabolism, his whole fucking system just works. And when he tries, he just. Like, I've seen him, and he's just fucking, like, he's huge.
So he's the guy you're putting your money on.
So, I mean, between him and my little brother, he's more street, like, had more experience, like, in the street with bad situations and stuff. I would give him probably the highest bet if I had to pick one guy.
Sure.
And it was no holds barred, and nobody's pulling any punches because it doesn't fucking matter. Like, if you don't fight and win on KO or whatever it is, it doesn't say death match, but... Like, if you don't win everybody by KO, like last man standing,
Right, last man standing.
you know, so it doesn't say you have to kill everybody.
No, well, it says
But you
bloody.
said bloody, but I mean, so it's a fight. It's a real fight.
Right.
I would put good money on him or my little brother, because my little brother, same thing, dude. I mean, he's a big fucking boy and he is strong. Like, I don't know that I would put money on myself against him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't know that I would.
What about your stepdad?
He would just fall down and play dead. I love the guy, but he's not that kind. He would get mad.
He's a goofy
And
guy.
he would go after it, but I don't think he'd be any good in a fight. He's too soft. Like I said, and even if
What
I
do you
put
call
myself
him?
in there, Beavis, yeah,
Anything else?
Beaner, or Beanhole,
I would probably put my little brother
yeah,
out of my
Pretty
extended
scrappy.
family. Yeah. No one else though. All right. Would you raise the age of consent to 22 years old across the country, or make booze and weed legal for anyone over 16? Raise the age of consent to 22.
for sex.
That's got to be right. Or is buying alcohol considered a consent thing?
I don't know. Let's pretend like it's just weed and alcohol,
Okay.
and take the sex part out of it,
Okay.
because I don't think that's realistic at all. To
The-
tell people you can't consent until you're 22. It's like, fuck
That's
you.
nuts.
That's not going to happen
That's
ever.
nuts.
That's not even realistic. That's like fucking fairy tale land.
Yeah.
And then lower the drinking age.
So it's
To
either
16?
raise. It's got to be though,
It's got to
because
be
like
for sex.
because 1 year.
Okay, so still, it's not realistic. The age of consent is not. So it's basically, it wants to turn it on its head. Age of consent
There's
in a lot of
almost
states is 16.
Yeah, 16. It's a soft 16. Though.
Soft 16. So I don't think that's realistic to tell people you can't consent until you're over 21. That's stupid. That's never gonna that would never fly.
No, because,
And it would never be functional. People would just do it anyway. They do it anyway
right,
now.
because you've got old guys and young girls, and
Yes.
you've got both young,
Yep.
both like 14.
Yep, exactly. It's never gonna fly. It's not gonna work at all.
Right. It's just essentially
and then
it's just a number.
16, I think, like as a parent, as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
I think 16 is still too young. I think, but not that we don't do
drink.
it. Not that they do it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, we were drinking at 15, 16 years old.
Right.
We
But
were
you
drinking- we were
but you
drinking
weren't
13.
but you weren't going and buying it at 16.
No. But we were still using it.
So like you saw the movie Trainspotting?
No.
Well, they're all junkies, heroin junkies, and Ewan McGregor takes off, but they still get a bunch of money, and he steals everyone's share, but he leaves 4,000 to his buddy. So in the second movie, like 20 years later, when he comes back, he's like, "What do you think I did with that money? I'm a junkie."
Yeah, I fucking smoked it up.
Right. So
Yeah.
he spent that $4,000 on heroin. So like I'm saying is like maybe we were drinking before we were old enough to drink,
Right.
but we weren't allowed to just like whatever money
Do as
we
much as you
have,
want.
right? Do as much as you want.
Yeah, I think honestly, I wouldn't do either one.
Is weed 21?
Yeah, it's regulated like alcohol.
Okay.
Now in Nevada anyway, and a lot
In
of
the places
in
where
the
you're
places
able
where
to
it's
go
legal,
and buy
yeah,
it.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I do think 18 would be acceptable, because one, we're allowing, and this is just a social point, like we allow 18-year-olds to join the military. We teach you how to kill people. We give you a machine gun. We ship you overseas, and then
Right.
expect
There's a
you
lot that you're allowed to do
kill
at
people.
18.
You can vote for the president of the United States. You can
Drive.
buy a house, credit card,
Consent.
consent. And there's a lot of things that you can do at 18, and it seems childish to withhold liquor.
Another couple of years.
When one, they're already doing it anyway. They're drinking underage anyway, and all we're doing is threatening them with penalty.
Well,
of
like
law.
18, you're an adult.
You are an adult, so you don't. I wonder what the charge is. Maybe our cop buddy could chime in at one point and tell us what the question is. Maybe next time you have him, or if you talk to him, like just out of curiosity, like what's the charge for an 18-year-old in possession of alcohol? Is it still technically minor in possession because they're not a minor anymore?
Well, because we've dealt with this at like my parties and stuff,
Right.
where I had friends over that weren't 21 yet.
Right.
And like you said, at that point it's on them.
If they're over 18, it is on the person who is using or
So
or
I have a,
possession
I have
of
a
alcohol.
party. We're
You have a party at
drinking.
your house as long as
I
they're
have
not
a
under-
20-year-old.
If they're over 18, it's on the person, because the person is now an adult. They are liable for themselves. Now, if you have a 17-year-old in your house drinking and the place gets raided or whatever, the cops show up and they go, "Hey, who's this person?" You're still, I mean, you're probably in deeper shit if you're like the guardian or whatever, right? But
Or
if
the
you're
provider of said alcohol.
But if it's your house and there are underage people in your house drinking liquor, the ticket goes to you for each one.
Okay.
So that's the difference there. But I wonder what the charge is for an 18-year-old in possession. Is it still minor possession? Because they're no longer a minor. And if it's not, what kind of bullshit is that?
I'll remember that. Like
Just out of
when
curiosity.
when I go
because
to
he's
the,
a cop, so what would he do in that situation?
Right.
And maybe you could verify what I'm telling you about the.
We should get him in here.
We should. I think it'd be fun because I think we'd have a lot to talk about.
Okay, I'll see.
Even if
I'll
we,
see
like-
what he's doing next week.
You know, we could like cover the movie stuff in about 20, 30 minutes, just kind of the experience and talk about, how you felt about acting for the first time and how that all went. Cover that up and then just like tirade on everything else.
Sure.
Just go Joe Rogan.
Sure.
Just cover
Let's
whatever.
go Joe Rogan on it.
And I think that'd be fun. So
I'll see.
All right.
Also, I got a couple people that can do a Sunday if you can do a Sunday.
Might be able to swing a Sunday like afternoon or something.
It would have to be after I get off work.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's see what their schedules look like, and we'll try to plan it out.
Okay.
Some time coming up that I'm not going to be in town, but
Vegas?
yeah, I wish. Wish I was going to Vegas.
You need to go. You can't get like a day off.
No, can't get it. I'm taking
You
like
can't
60
work
hours
away from work.
sometimes.
Yeah, didn't you say you had all the time in the world that you would be able to go to the festival?
I didn't say that.
No, you said something like that.
I
You said
didn't
like
say
I've got
that.
plenty of PTO or whatever.
Right.
Your wife doesn't want to go to Vegas.
She definitely doesn't want to go to Vegas. She hates Vegas. And there's nobody in Vegas for us anymore. We have no family there.
I got family there.
I know. All right. Let's wrap it.
Man, we did 2 hours, dude.
Let's wrap it.
All right.
Starving to death.
Okay, thanks. I'm Matt Bonta.
I'm Cory